evening, all my lions and lionesses. Let me adjust that a little bit. There we go. Well, Daisy's a lot taller of a head than Bursty, and that's still annoying me. That's better. So, Bursty the Lion is here tonight with you for a little story time. I'm in full suit because I had just recorded the full suit video in the other room. The computer I record from is still sitting on the table back there behind me. That room is that way long. Or goes back towards it. There, you know more about my house now. Don't you feel smarter? Aren't you an educated little kitten now? So, well, speaking of education, we're going to talk about some. Now, today's story is about high school. Now, if you remember from a previous story, it's been a while, I'm getting kind of behind on filling all my blanks. I talked about the fact that at middle school I was allergic to the cleaners in the school. So, I had to be homeschooled for all of my middle school career, well, all but the first half a year. That was fun. Now, the problem is, middle school and high school not only are cleaned with the same cleaners, they're attached. In fact, they share the same lunchroom, so that's the thing. I couldn't breathe in either building. We did find a high school that I could go to. It was a Christian high school, Protestant relation if you're looking for the specific, not Catholic. And it was non-denominational, and they accepted people of whatever flavor you felt like being. In fact, there were a few Catholic people that were in there. I carpooled with one for a while, for reasons, because they lived down the street from us, apparently, and I didn't know this. Yay! It was a secretary and her kids. We found this Christian school that I apparently could breathe in because they cleaned with these weird Melaleuca cleaning products. In fact, they were totally sponsoring them. The principal actually sold this particular cleaning product. Gee, there's a little nepotism there. Anyway, the school was not cleaned with any pentachlorophenol, so I could breathe there. Hooray. Now, it was a lot smaller than the public high school. And we're talking about Apollo, the land of 1,400 some people. So we went from the high school from the 1,400 people down to the high school of a small sect of them. Most of the classes were 9th and 10th grade and 11th, 12th grade, as far as high school stuff goes. And most of it was done in two main classrooms in the basement of this building. So you got to know where you were going pretty quick. There was not a lot of running around unless it was one of your classes was held down in the chapel, which was outside the building, down the hill, and in the church. So you would have to go upstairs, out the door, down the hill, no matter what the temperature is outside, no matter it's raining or snowing, you had to go. So that was fun. I spent a lot of time getting to know the teachers because short amount of teachers, and I was a little bit more outspoken about life, so I talked to people. This is also where I kind of came out of my shell. In everything up till now, I was pretty well secluded. I kept to myself. I didn't show my feelings. I didn't speak out or express myself too much. Now all of a sudden it was just like, new environment. I'm gonna be loud and me. I randomly was singing for no apparent reason. I did Stand Alive by the Bee Gees because I wanted to. And it became a thing for the whole school. Everyone knew about it. So that happened. Uh, we did a bunch of other songs. I can't remember all of them now because, well, that was a lot of years ago, and I kind of gave that up. But that was an interesting thing I dealt with. Um, I really got in a good relationship with the lunch lady. Um, I was always polite to her, and um, most of my high school career, I had some free time, not that long after lunch, and I come up and help her do dishes because nice line, do dish. Lunch lady would often, Mrs. Altman, would give me extra food at lunch and sometimes send me home with leftovers. Like, I made too much raviolis. Here, take this giant bowl of raviolis home. And I loved raviolis, so magic moment. So, yes, that was cool. Um, the principal also was the PE teacher and the preacher that was of the church that was associated with this facility. Um, and because our classes were so small, like the entire high school had gym together, boys or girls, which still wasn't that many most of the time. And he liked to play football, touch football. I did not like to play touch football. I hated football. I could not catch the football. I could not throw the football. And he quickly figured this out, and he was like, "You're just going to be on defense all the time, and everyone else gets to be offense slash defense. They get to, like me." So I got singled out as being never able to win the game because my point in the game is I am continuously on the team that's not winning. Cool. And he was always the quarterback. So he was always on winning team. No matter who won, it was his team. No matter who lost, it's my team. Yeah, that was awesome. Um, I was already well ahead in math than everyone else in the school. So I was basically taking the 11th and 12th grade math at the same time they were. Uh, that was fun. So I was ahead of everybody on that. Um, and eventually, my last year, they didn't have more math for me, so I took accounting because they ran out of math. They ran out of math. um, and uh, my language class was initially Spanish, but apparently some of the girls from the 7th and 8th grade were really, really mean to this lady, and she quit after 1 year being a teacher. So we didn't have a Spanish teacher, so we ended up having someone that decided they were going to teach sign language. So I had several years of American Sign Language, and I learned that pretty good, and uh, it was an interesting function. So I would have liked to have a language like German or French or Spanish, but at least what I have can communicate with people here and abouts. So, yay! Um, and during one of my last years there, I think it was the last year I was there, they decided to recarpet the basement of the church, which is where I had several classes because that's one of the few classrooms that existed. uh, so the basement of the church got recarpeted. Now, to do this, they had to put in this really, really toxic scented glue down to make the carpet stick to the concrete. That's awesome. This building did not have a lot of ventilation. Um, I kept going to class in that building day after day, and I kept getting harder and harder to breathe consistently, as in it didn't go away completely after each day. It kept getting worse. So one morning in class, it was like opening day stuff, everybody gathers down there for opening ceremonies or whatever for the day. Um, I had to leave the building because I was barely breathing. As in, it was more like there was like nothing. My airways had basically shut down. So I spent about a week in the hospital, hooked up to oxygen. I was mentally cool. I was, okay, whatever. Yeah, I guess I'm in a hospital. I'm gonna sit in a hospital bed for however long this takes. Oxygen tubes up my nose, and they're like, "How are you not passed out?" I'm like, "Oh, I'm too stubborn to pass out." Why didn't you say something sooner? I did say something sooner. No one listened to me until I stopped breathing. Oh, oh, yeah. Um, when a child says they can't breathe, pay attention to that child. They may not be fibbing, but like my blood oxygen level is stupid low and stayed stupid low for several days of me being in the hospital with oxygen shoved up my nose until everything balanced out. That was fun. I learned inhaled steroids are an amazing thing. I also learned that they like to wake you up at midnight when you're already asleep to give you a pill that is full of adrenaline and it wakes you up. Thanks, hospital. Good thing I didn't have to go anywhere in the morning. My whole plan was I was going to be plopped in that bed longer. Woo! um, but that was a fun part of high school. Um, I think it was during the last couple years I was in high school. I had already done all of my elective classes. I was good. I covered my bases. And in the afternoons, all I had left was gym and study hall. So, one other class, something that was right after lunch, then gym and study hall. So I talked to the principal, who I already was not so happy with for the last few years, especially because of gym class, which is what we went to talk about. I said, hey, how about this? I walk or ride my bike home from school every day right around this time because I just have a study hall and gym class. And it's about a 3 mile distance. So that's um, it's about an hour of walking or about a half hour of biking because there was a lot of hills. So I was stopping and walking the bike up the hill still. And he agreed to this. So it counted as my gym class. I walked home 3 miles. I was cool with this. I was okay with this. I got to go home sooner. I got home quite a bit earlier than everybody else. I wasn't stuck sitting around at the school waiting for the bus, which the bus system was interesting. Our buses were not just for us. They went to all of the private schools around the area and the public elementary school. Public high schools were out earlier. We all were at the same time. This whole school was like pre to 12 in this setup. Um, and they were all started and stopped at the same time. Public stuff, the high school and middle school started sooner, and then the elementary was a later time frame. This ended just before the elementary. So I was riding the bus that was going to the elementary school in town. And at first they would just let us off when we got there, which was fine. I mean, bus parks in like the bus donut. And then they'd be like, all right, everybody's just who's staying here, hop on out. Anybody that's going to further destinations, keep your butts still. I was home already. I walked home from there, so I was going to get out. Now, in the last couple of years, they changed the rules. We were not allowed to exit the bus until there was a teacher there to let us be out. I'm thinking, what's the teacher going to do? I'm a 16-year-old. I've been walking home from this location. This is the same elementary school I walked home from since I was a student. Since I was in kindergarten, I walked home from this all on my own. And you're not letting me out of the bus as a 16-year-old because there's not a teacher there? What's the teacher going to do? Oh, you're going to get lost on the way from the bus to the sidewalk 20 feet away from you. No. Pretty sure I can find my way. In fact, I can see the road up there. I'm gonna go the shorter way, the way that they don't want me to walk. Down the main street is where there isn't a sidewalk for about uh, 50 feet, in which you can't let children walk down there. They could get all dead or something. No, they want you to walk down this big windy hill, then to walk up another big windy hill to get to the same place where all I gotta do is walk down one hill. I'm not stupid. I understand physics and distance. So I was happy to not have to deal with that bus system anymore. Even if it meant I had to walk 3 miles, I didn't have to ride that bus and be sitting in it for over a half hour after we got to that elementary school to be allowed to exit the bus. That was the dumbest. The dumbest. But I made it through high school there, and I graduated the absolute top of my class. I really was the valedictorian. I had to give a speech. It was a thing. So yes, if you're watching this after the college video, you're going to realize, yes, I graduated college with a 4.0. I graduated high school as a valedictorian. Apparently, I'm not completely dumb. So I got a little bit of something going for me. Yup. Uh, and, well, that was high school mostly. Can't say I covered everything there. I think I already mentioned before that I played in the soccer team, at least in one video, so that's a thing. Soccer was fun. I liked soccer. I don't know why we didn't do that for gym class, but principal liked touch football, so we played touch football. Touch football, 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 football. I hate football. I like football, where I kick the ball with my foot, not where I throw some oblong shaped ball that doesn't fly right because it's weird shaped, and you don't kick normally. I don't get it. I don't get it. Yep. Okay, well, that's your story for tonight, kids. I hope you enjoyed it. I thank you again for watching my videos. Bursty just loves seeing all your cute little faces, and she doesn't mind showing off her face for you. So I want you to all have cute, fluffy days. And remember, if you're a good little sissy puppy, and you know who you are, because I know you watch all these videos, especially if Bursty's on it, remember, Bursty is watching you. She knows you need to be a good boy. And that's that. So thank you all for watching. I hope you have a lovely, fluffy day. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, ring the bell. Patreon is listed below if you're so inclined. And Bursty wants to hug you. And she likes you. She thinks you're neat. Good night, kittens.